Smith. I'm Shepard Smith. New Yorkers haven't seen this much orange since the Mets debuted those new batting practice jerseys. Wow. The Gates, a 23-mile, $20 million ocean of orange. Of course, it was privately funded. It's in Central Park. And it was a beautiful weekend in Central Park, and a lot of people went up to Central Park, or down to it, or over to it, depending on where you're from, to see all that orange fabric in the construction zone there in the middle of, you know, I mean, I'm just a redneck, but I don't get it. Maybe Jane gets it in Skinnerville. I don't think if they did that in Skinnerville, they'd have multiple colors. She's styling it. From Studio B, let's bring in Chris Knowles now from the Fox Weather Center. CK,
how you doing?
How you doing, huh? Sorry about your Eagles, bro.
Yeah, well, these things happen.
We haven't mentioned them.
They'll be next year. T.O. played nice. You know, McNabb, get him a little Pepto. He'll be good to go next year.
This article in Time Magazine that I'm talking about is the one that hit your newsstands today, or maybe tomorrow in Holly Springs, I don't know. And then there's this before we turn off the lights in Studio B on this Valentine's Day. People usually learn lessons of love the hard way, you know, through heartache and tears. But by the looks of a new course offerings at universities across the nation, that's so 20th century. Many colleges are now offering courses called Relationship 101 or something like that. Among the lecture topics, falling in love without losing your mind, or how to break up without falling apart. Professors say it's better for students to learn this stuff sooner rather than later. I'm guessing. Not a lesson you learn. It's more of a process than an event, isn't it? Cavuto's in now with a huge merger. Man.
Yeah, big merger. You know, by the way, that story is why I want my daughter to become a nun.
Yeah, that's a good
work on that, my friend.
From the Fox News Hub in New York and Fox News teams around the globe, this is news at the speed of light. You're on a Valentine's Day edition of the Fox Report from America's loving news network. Britain's Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles are planning to get married in a civil ceremony, but that might be illegal. Several experts in family law have told the BBC that the Marriage Act of 1836 bars the royal family from civil unions. A marriage in the Church of England has been ruled out because they are both divorced. Charles and Camilla celebrated Valentine's Day in private at their country estate after the prince spent the day at work. Wonder what princes do. How much cut timber is too much, huh? I got wood. One state's attorney general filing suit saying big increases in the amount of wood allowed to be cut have more to do with politics than public safety. That was about the press. Settle down. All we really know at this point is the car chase has been going on for at least the better part of 5 minutes. Excuse me, maybe a little bit longer. This car is being pursued by LA City, it's my understanding. And now he's clearly in a parking lot as I begin the coughing fit. A little bit more on this as we've been getting it. KTTV and Fox 11 is giving us the information that we have, and I'm waiting for information from our Los Angeles newsroom by Top Line to Smith on what they have regarding this. You see a driver in there, which is somewhat comforting. At least the thing's not on autopilot. Verizon's VCast service giving new meaning to the term miniseries. Each 1 minute mobile episode, or mobisode, is filmed with a really small screen in mind. The VCast service launched here in the States just about 1 week ago. Now we're going to be talking on the phone and watching TV on the phone and reading and eating a Big Mac. You'll be doing your makeup. Man, it's going to be fun on the freeway. Pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training. Why bother with this balmy February weather here in the big city? Chris Knowles joins us now in Studio B because Janice Dean, the weather machine, is...
Yeah, she's fallen. Can't get up. If she would have this alert button, we wouldn't be here now. But she's going to be fine. She'll be back tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
What's her deal?
Hurt ankle, size of a bowling ball, but it's going to shrink. She'll be here.
All right.
Cane and all.
Should we make fun of her or no?
I think we just did.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, Janice.
With all due respect to CK's forecast, the U.S. working with dozens of other nations on a new super forecast of sorts. You hear that?
I like that.
You like that? I bet Janice is scared of that. I don't know if they let balloon legs be part of this. And then there's this, before we turn off the lights in Studio B. A guy in Austria grabs an old woman's bag and runs off with all her stuff. Someone else sees the whole thing and calls the cops. But this was not your typical mugger here. When he noticed, we're told, that the victim fell to the ground, he went back to help her, even looking for her keys. The victim was impressed with her attacker. She says criminals just don't do that anymore. So she begged the police to let the mugger off and even went to court to fight for him. No luck. Sentenced to 2.5 years in jail because this was not his first offense. But my, he was polite about it. I mean, there ought to be some points for politeness. Nana used to say that. Right, Jessica?
That's right.
You get some points just for being polite. I'm guessing the evil deed that preceded it might have negated that. The best theme music on all the channel means Cool Critters. And would you look at that on the green carpet in New York? A little lady just back from maternity leave heading to the finals of the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. Coco, the Norfolk Terrier, one of the contenders for top dog. She's up against Fame, a Great Pyrenees, and Baloo, a Tibetan Terrier. Then there's Jeffrey, the Pekingese. Yes, there is a dog under there somewhere. 3 more finalists will be chosen tonight. Then one, would you look at that? Sasquatch might scratch that dog's eyes out. I mean, I wouldn't encourage such a thing, but it might be our shot of the day.
3 years in a row.
Feast fit for a king, marking the 63rd birthday of the beloved North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il. This as thousands of people reportedly starved to death under his brutal regime, or at least they have certain health conditions that are a result of lack of food. The streets of the North Korean capital lined with banners wishing the general long life and good health. This just a week after the Communist Party there further isolated itself from the rest of the world by announcing it had the bomb and pulling out of multinational talks. Michael Jackson, in case you haven't seen it, waved his way out of his hospital window today. Didn't wave his way out, but he waved out there in case you missed it.
Keep in mind, as Michael Jackson is in the hospital behind us, he's not really known as the strongest individual on the planet. He's 5'11", weighs 120 pounds. And remember, a couple of years ago for a civil suit, he showed up to court on crutches because a spider bit his foot. When he was arrested last fall, Michael Jackson said that they dislocated his shoulder when they put the handcuffs on him. So don't be surprised if throughout this trial we get more of Michael's maladies.
Michael's maladies. Nice, Trace. Thank you very much. I know he's strong, though, because I saw Geraldo's interview with him over the weekend. He told Geraldo he's very strong. Kid Rock, that's the name. He says everything is wonderful, despite the fact that he spent several hours in jail and was arrested and charged with assault. Rock called in this morning after a fight in a nightclub in Nashville. Police say he punched a DJ in the face 2 times over something or other the DJ said to a friend. Cops say that Rock left the club with another well-known entertainer, someone they're not identifying, which is too bad for all of us, really. They arrested Kid Rock a few hours later. He has a court date and is due for a hair wash sometimes around March 30th. Cops finally catching up to him along with the help. Watch this now. The puppy helped there. Puppies are good for lots of things. Stupid man. That's all we have for you there. A hero's homecoming in the land of Lincoln. Fire engines blaring, leading the welcome wagon in Decatur, Illinois for the 106th Aviation Regiment. The Army National Guard unit spent a year in Iraq, logging 17,000 combat hours. Another 200 National Guardsmen and women coming home from the desert to sunny Southern California. The San Bernardino unit, activated in November of '03. Man, would you look at that. One of the soldiers telling a hometown paper that the battalion helped build almost $12 million worth of roads and bridges and water systems inside Iraq. Wow. Local leaders say it'd be a good idea for people to head for higher ground, but most are said to be staying put, just as Janice Dean's been doing, because she's got a bum leg now. She's over at the Green Wall. What happened to you, Machine? What happened?
Well, I'd like to say I was skiing in Aspen, but I was playing a rough game of ball hockey in the street.
Ball hockey?
No, I tripped on the stairs. But I have to say that my mother found out because you mentioned on the air that I had fallen. I hadn't told her.
We were picking on you.
I know, and it wasn't bowling either. I'm a terrible bowler. All right.
How are you at weather?
Weather? The drugs are kicking in, so I should be happy, right? Okay.
The theme Music voted Fox's favorite means cool critter time. And the critter judge coolest of them all at the Westminster Kennels Club's dog show, Carly, a German short-haired pointer, winning Best in Show at the world's most famous arena just last evening. None of these is the winner. It beat out 6 other purebred pups, including this thing here. That's the winner right there. Coco, the Norfolk Terrier, just back from maternity leave, lost. Jeffrey, the waddling fluffball, that one was known as a Pekingese. This is Carly's 9th Best in Show title, and her handler's 2nd straight win at Westminster, and it doesn't get much cooler than that. Or maybe it does. Now, an apparent bomb threat has forced the evacuation of a place as it touched down in San Diego, or evacuation of a plane in this case. The scare reportedly began in Phoenix, where a woman who was running late to board yelled out, "You want me on that plane because there's a bomb in my bag?" That was stupid, wasn't it?
Coming 18 months.
Michael O'Hanlon from Brookings Institution. Michael, thank you. Good to see you.
Take care.
Coming up from B, Viagra. Viagra may have benefits beyond its regular uplifting purpose. We don't know how many are over there, do we, really? Honestly.
Well, somebody does, Shep. We're just not sure.
I'm not among them.
By the way, you guys are getting kooky up there.
I'm sorry. It's Bugs Bunny's superpowers.
That's true.
42-year-old had a book showing the chemical breakdown for a powerful explosive. Police also finding a videotape of the man setting off a bomb as a demonstration for the students. And I thought we had that videotape, but it's probably stuck in the VCR or something. New York City has been called a lot of things, but how about the world's second home? What do you guys think? No one's paying attention to me. The city's applying to trademark that phrase and make it the new nickname. The Big Apple would start calling itself the world's second home in all sorts of promotions. What do you guys think of that? No. I'm not talking to hear my head rattle over here. What do you think, Melissa? You like that? Janice, you'd say yay to anything. It's a good bet that the world's second home would become a big part of the push to bring the Olympics to New York City in 2012. Second home. No. Coming up from Studio B, life on Mars. Scientists say we may have neighbors on the red planet. But is it worth the cost it would take to send humans up to... Is it worth the cost to see if they really think there might be people up there? Give me a break. Yes, it's worth it. All right, I'll chip in. You find green men in caves, I'll give you cash. 15 minutes to sanity in Cavuto.
Okay.
Hey, here's one more question. What are these parents saying when you call them up and tell them they're going to go to jail?
Well, the problem with that is that
that ends my truancy right fast, I tell you. Old Shep Sr. would have knocked the heck out of me. They tried to put Dorellen in jail, though, because I didn't show up for school. And I'd hope they keep her in jail forever, because it's going to be painful when she gets home. Coming up from Studio B, the idea of life. Trying to picture Dorellen in jail. The NBA's trying to make sure a brawl like this one between the Pacers and the Pistons never happens again. And one of the first changes, the amount of alcohol you'll be able to get at a game. Yeah, blame the alcohol. Questioning the vision of the final frontier. Last year, President Bush outlined a plan to return people to the moon in the next 15 years and send them to Mars after that. Not just Democrats either. Man alive. Stormwatch 05. Call out the live trucks. Go to every puddle. Send reporters everywhere. They're crazy in Los Angeles. Crazy, Janice.
Shepard, it's a lot of rain. Those poor folk out there. Okay. We are definitely going to have...
Be nice most of the time.
It is.
It's just another cost of doing business, you know, that, hey, you know, remember the Pinto cars that blew up?
Yes,
yeah, just another cost of doing business. And, you know.
Well, the Pennsylvania Senator Arlen Specter entering the hospital to begin treatments for Hodgkin's disease. The 75-year-old Republican says he's determined not to let the cancer interfere with his role as Judiciary Committee Chairman. Senator Specter telling reporters he will lose his hair, but jokes there are options for dealing with that.
I'm now considering the alternatives of being a new sex symbol, or you certainly couldn't make me an old sex symbol, so either a new sex symbol or wearing baseball caps, and my sense is to wear baseball caps.
Yankee one, please, Senator, though I doubt that.